Morning. The trial we've been talking about for years for former Uvalde CISD officer is set to begin.
Yeah, Adrian Gonzales is facing 29 felony charges, all connected to his response to the May 2022 mass shooting where 19 children and 2 teachers were killed. Our Amanda Henderson has been covering this story from the beginning. She's joining us now live from Corpus Christi. That's where the trial is actually going to be taking place. Amanda, this is the first trial of a law enforcement officer in this massacre, correct?
That's absolutely correct. Now, there are 2 former officers who have been indicted, but Pete Arredondo, being the former Uvalde CISD police chief, his trial did not have a set date to start because there are some things at the federal level, according to his attorney, when it comes to witnesses, that they need to settle first before that can be scheduled. So this is solely for Adrian Gonzales, the former Uvalde CISD police officer who was there the day of the massacre. He was at Robb Elementary. We have seen him on video, and he faces, as you mentioned, 29 charges, specifically under the statute of child abandonment or endangerment, making him the first law enforcement officer in the history of Texas to face these kinds of charges in a trial. We're outside of the Nueces County Courthouse, where jury selection is set to get underway here very shortly. So much to cover in all of this. There's obviously so much that we have seen over the past 4 years.
And Amanda, Ilona emphasized this in her original toss to you about the trial taking place not in Uvalde but in Corpus Christi. What does the change of venue say about the case in general?
Well, we heard from Nico LaHood, who is leading the team for Adrian Gonzales, that they did not believe that he could get a fair trial in Uvalde County, his hometown. So they asked to move it to Nueces County, Corpus Christi, where we are right now. There had been pretrial stuff that had happened over in Uvalde County. I mean, going back as far as 2024. But now here we are, 2026 in Nueces County for that very reason.
And, you know, at the time, this was just so devastating to the community there. How are families of victims and the overall Uvalde community responding ahead of this trial?
So I'm going to start with the families of the victims, because there's 2 groups here, right? There's obviously the families of the victims, the families of the survivors, because we don't want to forget about them either. The families of the victims, of course, I understand some of them are going to be here. Whether or not they're here today, that remains to be seen, but we do understand that some are going to be making the drive from Uvalde to Corpus Christi, a couple hours away from their home, to be here. We don't know exactly how long this is going to take. I want to emphasize that. This is not going to be by any means a short in and out trial, but we're not exactly sure if this could be weeks upon weeks or even a month. So they're really sacrificing a lot to be out here for even the first few days. And when it comes to the survivors, you know, I feel a lot of times that people tend to forget these were the children who were calling 911 in the rooms. These were the children who were shot. These were the teachers who were shot, and they survived, and they have lived with this for, just like the families of the victims. They've lived with this for 4 years. I don't entirely know if the survivors are going to be at all testifying or if they are going to be here present, but you can imagine this is not an easy time for them either, for everybody across the board, whether you lost someone or whether your loved one was inside classroom 111, 112, 109, where those people were shot, and tragically so many were killed. It's emotional, it's heavy. There's a lot flying around right now, and I think this is the beginning of a little bit of an exhale, in the sense that the trial is getting underway. That's what I've heard over the course of the years that I've covered this, that they have been waiting to see if a trial would come. They've been waiting to see if a trial would happen. And now, almost 4 years after they lost their loved ones, or their loved ones were shot inside of those classrooms by that gunman, they're here to see what is ultimately going to be the outcome of this trial for Adrian Gonzales, the first trial of its kind for these charges.
Well, exactly. We have been saying that all morning, the very first of its kind. And then we think about the VO and you know, all of that body cam footage. This will just be such a devastating and emotional journey for those groups to get through, and it's certainly very important to focus on, and we're glad that you took that moment to shine the spotlight on them and what this journey has meant to them. So I know you'll be following along with them as they go through this process. Amanda, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you later on this morning.